So now I'm going to show you how to get a more traditional, more glamorous look. So this is more of about a marcel wave look. So it's got a bit more Hollywood glamour to it and more of a vargasy sort of look. So normally in those days, in the 20s or the 30s, when women went and had their hair set, they got those great sort of waves, but they did spend hours in the salon. So I don't know anyone who's actually got hours anymore. So this is a quick way of doing a old-fashioned look. So what you need to do is you need to, again, damp hair, and always anti-gravity. So anti-gravity is your foundation product. So this is going to make everything stay in much better. So you take a bit of anti-gravity, about that much, on like a normal head of hair. Rub it in your hands. You want to establish that mainly in the ends and the mid-lengths. So pop that all through your ends and mid-lengths. Again, I don't want to have too much height. I want to keep that quite flat around the top. So really disperse that product through. You can see it puts a lovely shine on the hair, which is very nice. And again, I'm not disturbing the hair, so I'm not going crazy in there. It absorbs quite fast. Now then you take your trusty dryer and dry that in. That's very important. You want this hair to sit quite flat around the top, so you don't want to be buffing it up. So make sure that when you're drying, that you're drying the hair in the way you want it to go. Okay, then you're going to try and work on angles that go like that. So it's not fully vertical, but it's not horizontal. I always like to start at the front. So my first section is going to be quite a large section again, to just behind the ear. So nice big section, worked out with a nice big comb, which is this one. So always use this size comb. The finer the comb, the more you're disturbing the hair. So I don't agree with disturbing the hair too much. So again, go straight down here like this, section off like that. So you've got a slight diagonal section going on. Then we're going to the whole thing, slightly diagonal. Let's roll down, lots of drag on the roots. Nice and neat around your edges. Now you need to give that a good baking, so hold it for at least 30 seconds. And then once that's set, you take it out of the tong and you reinforce with a small roller. So what you need to do is you need to use a roller like this one that has the self-locking aspect to it. Straight in to a roller. So pull the hair out, wrap that all the way in. Bit of drag onto the bottom. And then we'll do the same thing again to the front. So I don't think that I'll probably put that much movement into the front, so I'm going to try and drop that down again. So I take my comb, slide in. Nice big section at the front. And you roll in slightly diagonal. And then roll that little bit that was hanging out before, don't worry about that, because the heat of the hair will just put a bit of bend on that front, and I don't really want to have a curly fringe, so I'm happy for that to be a little bit smoother around the front. So again, simply clip in and then move to your other side. We're going to follow that going all the way down, so we're going to come straight in here. So you go into from just behind the ear. You okay to keep turning? Yeah. Just behind the ear to the middle of the neck. So your section begins here. It's quite a large diagonal section. So again, nice and in, drop it down a bit, go round. Keep your tension very smooth and even all through. Go right around and leave a bit of an end out, because again, it's the looser end or the straighter end that makes your hair look a bit groovier. And the heat from the hair that's been tonged is enough to put a bit of bend onto the end. Because this is more about mid-lengths being waved and ends being softer. So again, you let that out, get those ends tucked nice and under. Now we'll spin around to the other side and we'll do exactly the same thing. Find your other piece of hair, which is over here. Take your section, give it a slight comb to make sure it's all even. Straight in on a diagonal. And what these diagonal sections do is they bring all the hair forward, so the hair really nestles around the neck. Then we come back up to the top, give that a little comb. There's a lot of drag on this, so I only really want to go to where our other rollers are because, again, we want to have more of a cap-like look on top and then waves coming off that. Because it is the cooling down of the hair that gives you the illusion of curl. And make sure it's nice and smooth. So if you've got any bumps, just try and pick those bumps out. Now, back, straight down. So we're going to start at the top again. Just give that a very slight comb. Again, you want to try and keep some texture in the hair, so don't fully straighten the hair out. If you've got very curly hair, I'd smooth it a little bit, or maybe like smooth the roots with a brush, but I wouldn't really get all the way through it with a brush. I'd make sure that you keep a little bit of this slight fizziness to the texture, because that'll really hold the style in. And then this is where you are holding horizontal again, and you can see that I'm not diagonal on this last section. I need to make sure that my back section is always horizontal. And again, pull it out and drop it down quite low. Next section, straight through here. And then take that out, roll that around. Now, it's very important to let that hairstyle cool because it's the cooling down that sets the hair, so you must not take the rollers out straight away. So I would wait for about 5 minutes before taking them out. When you take them out, roll that right down. You can see we get quite a lot of movement in there, like it's a very glamorous look to it. There we go. Now we'll take out these sides and just very slightly just glide the hair out of the roller. Then you take your trusty comb and you very gently comb that hair through. Start at the top sections and then work your way around. After getting the hair combed through, you need to take a boar bristle brush, and it needs to be a boar bristle brush, not a plastic bristle brush, and that way we're going to slightly back comb the hair to put a bit of softness into the hair so that the hair has control in it. And very lightly tease the hair, and this will give you the control that you need. So you lightly brush over like that, and your aim here is to separate all the hair up. So don't be shy. And you've got to join each section in together because this sort of hairdressing is about keeping the hair together, not separated. So then you slightly go through, and it's a very gentle tease. I'm not trying very hard. I just want to get some air into the hair, basically. So when you've got your section here, you must join it in with the section underneath. This is a very important part of the hairstyling phase. It looks like a mad woman's knitting, but it will really make sense soon. See, you can see already that wave's really starting to sort of show. You're getting a very nice marcel waved look. So then what we do is we gently brush it through. And I would start at the top of the head and work your way around. You just keep brushing until you feel that most of the teasing is brushed out, and then you can start molding the hair into that wave. I'd do it section, 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 section. So treat each section as a bit of an individual section. So now that I've brushed that hair quite a lot, you need to give it quite a good brushing as well, because you really need to sort of release those waves. So basically, the ball bristle brush just makes it look nice and smooth and get a very full glossy look. With a bit of modernness, I think the straighter end makes it look more realistic, because you don't necessarily want to be too nostalgic. I'm just going to give you a quick sort of whiz around so people can see. So you get a nice, loosish, modern interpretation of an old-fashioned Siren look. But now I think we might zhuzh it up a bit. So I'm going to take a product called Gritty Business. Now Gritty Business is a very strong hold product, so this is when you want to elevate these curls. So only on girls' hair when it's dry. This is quite a very strong texturizing product. So I would only take about that much. So a very tiny little bit. So there's your Gritty Business. And then what I'll get you to do is just to throw your head sort of over, so you need to like lean forward. Then what we do is we just squish that through the ends. And there's a bit of beeswax in this product, so you really need to squish that beeswax into the hair, and this will give the hair a lot of volume and a lot of movement in a very short space of time. So keep squishing. And you can see the more you squish, the more definition you get on those waves. And then you flick your head up, and then she's all va-va-voom sort of thing straight away, without any sort of hesitation. So she's got her nice wavy look, but it's also a little bit, you know, old-fashioned and a bit glamorous. The only thing we have to do is just control this area here. So you take your trusty comb again. And then just keep that top smooth. So this is a very modern going out look. But what it does, it takes it from total screen Siren, because that can be a little bit uncomfortable to wear all night long, to make it into like a more of a sexier sort of version here. With lots of volume and body in it, and it has that nice smooth but textured look to it. So you get a very nice old-fashioned look with a bit of a modern twist to it.